So against my better judgment, I decided over this past weekend to do live coverage of the Mike Lindell MyPillow Frank speech rally in Wisconsin. And I always love being with you guys, love sharing events with the live audience. But this one was really, really tough to watch. It was truly an historic event organized by Mike Lindell, a big Trump supporter, founder and CEO of the MyPillow brand. It was a 4-hour event. I was only able to get through about 2.5 hours before I just had to bail. The lineup at this event included Mike Lindell himself, Diamond and Silk, Charlie Kirk, Brannon Howes, Chris Cox, Dinesh D'Souza, Danielle D'Souza, Sheriff Clark, and of course, Donald Trump himself joining the event via video conference. Now, 99% of what happened at this event was merely the disgusting nonsense you would expect. The event had a scheduled flyover. It failed. I guess the planes didn't show up. It was really weird. But it was really capped off by Donald Trump delivering a deranged and bizarre speech during which his eyes appeared almost completely swollen shut. We've seen this with Trump a couple of times before. He was also slurring and seemed to be engaged in a real battle against his own tongue, which was determined apparently to prevent him from being able to enunciate anything clearly. And this rally, while disgusting and depraved, it really confirmed our suspicions. They seem fully intent on riding this horse into the 2022 election. That's the Trump horse. And they will see how far it gets them. Trump launching right into his entire "I actually won the election" thing. The talking points have been the same for 6 months. And Trump just labored, struggling to speak. Take a look.
We went from 63 million votes and we won to 75 million people, and they say we lost, but we didn't lose. 75 million votes, they say that we lost. Now, I was told by John McLaughlin, who's considered just about the best pollster, I would say the best pollster. There's a few of them out there, Towery. There are a few of them out there that are great. Sir, you got 63 million. If you can go up to 65, you can't lose the election. Well, you know what happened? We went up to 75, and they say we lost the election. If you win Miami, if you win Florida, if you take out and win, and we won by a lot, Florida and Ohio, and then you add Iowa, nobody's ever won those states and lost. But we won those states in virtual landslides, and they have us losing. And there are so many. We held every state house. We held Congress,
It's all so labored. And of course, it's the same lies week after week. As you can hear, the crowd is not exactly riveted by what Donald Trump is saying. Here is Donald Trump delivering a defense of, I guess, Rudy Giuliani, but it's hard to tell if he really means it, but just not looking good, not sounding good.
I want to thank people like Rudy Giuliani, who is out there fighting, and they're after him, and they want to take him down. They want to take us all down. There's never been a time like this. There's never been. It's weaponized. It's weaponized. And the Republicans were very nice. Our people were very, very nice and very, very respectful. And I said this would happen. But Rudy is a great patriot. He was the greatest mayor in the history of New York and a great, great patriot. And what he's done and what Mike has done and what so many other people have done, these are incredible heroes. And they're going to go down as heroes someday, and I think it's someday in the not too distant future. So I look forward to being with you.
Hopefully they go down, but not as heroes. Hopefully they just go down for their crimes and misdeeds. Then here is Trump really just fighting that tongue to enunciate coherently, saying China should pay the world for the virus. But kind of weird. Yeah, take a look.
And the China virus, they have to pay reparations. We've been hurt so badly in terms of death, human life, and in terms of monetarily to a level that they have to pay us. And frankly, if they paid us $10 trillion, that wouldn't cover it. But they really have to pay the world because this has started in the world. The entire world has been not only disrupted.
And just the slurring, the eyes almost completely shut during this next segment. And then the video froze, which in a sense was like the best moment of the rant when the video froze.
having a hard time with the contractors. I know contractors better than anyone. They're very brilliant. They may not read or write in some cases, but you know what? They're smarter than the rest. They're smarter. So I just want to thank everybody.
The video freezing seemed to get the crowd more interested than anything Trump had said up until that point. At another moment, Donald Trump falsely claimed to have stopped the Russian oil pipeline. Like, it just didn't happen. It's just factually untrue.
I stopped the Russia pipeline, probably the biggest pipeline in the world, going into Germany and other countries in Europe. It was stopped.
Never happened. Just, it didn't happen. It's not true. A few other really strange moments. Here are Diamond and Silk apparently explaining something about the so-called audit in Arizona of the absentee ballots. See if you can understand this.
Question for you.
Okay, what is it?
I notice how the Democrats is trying to interfere in the certification of the audit.
Wonder
And
why?
I remember them saying that it's an insurrection when you try to block the certification. So my question is, if they're trying to interfere in the audits in Arizona, for example, does that make them an insurrection because they're trying to stop the verification of the certification of Jim Crow Joe?
Good way of looking at it.
That, I don't know, guys. That's pretty strong. I'm pretty convinced. I don't know of what, but I'm pretty convinced by that. Another favorite moment was when Mike Lindell claimed that, I guess a friend of his he was banned from Google Maps. Really weird.
A friend of mine about a month ago, I was on his radio show and he sent it out, the podcast part, to all his, he emailed it out, 30,000 emails. Google took away his Gmails and his Google Maps. I want you to think about that. They took away his Google Maps.
I feel like I need an interpreter to even understand what it is they are claiming. Like I'm having trouble even adjudicating the claims that are being made by these people because I don't even know what the claims are. And then lastly, maybe the funniest moment, this is a crowd heading for the exits while Mike Lindell is speaking. Apparently the crowd had had enough.
We're in the greatest revival for Jesus in the history of the world. But I want to tell you all, so I'm going to tell you what I want to do is I want to bring it back as how did I end up here? How did we end up here today? Especially when here's an ex-crack addict from Minnesota. So I'm going to tell you I'll bring you back in time,
So if you're listening today and not watching, the crowd was just heading out while Mike Lindell was speaking. One of my favorite segments from the Trump era is a segment where Trump went to India and this big stadium full of people started heading towards the exits as Donald Trump was speaking and mispronouncing all sorts of Indian names. This was the equivalent. This was the equivalent during the Mike Lindell rally. So another completely humiliating event, but signaling a few things to us. Number one, the Trump crowd doesn't seem to be that worried about sunburn. And the reason I say that is this was a 4-hour event, which opened 2 hours early, and people just sitting in the blazing hot sun the entire time. I hope they brought sunscreen, but they don't seem super concerned about sun exposure. That's one thing we learned. And number two, they really seem to be on this. They're not changing horses midstream, I think would be the metaphor that we would apply to this. They seem committed to at least seeing what Trumpianism is going to bring them through 2022. If it fails, then maybe they'll go a different direction. But yet another complete and total embarrassment. Not to be outdone by Marjorie Taylor Greene, although she's trying. Let's talk about that next.
One of our sponsors is Rise, the science-based app that makes it easy to improve your sleep and your daily energy. And Rise uses 2 core principles that have emerged from sleep science. One is sleep debt as an idea of how much sleep you owe your body, and circadian rhythms dictating your energy levels. And Rise helps you figure out your sleep needs, helps you track your sleep debt. Every morning, Rise tells you how long you'll probably be groggy, when your high energy time will be. when you should start winding down for bed to optimize your sleep. And so you can make science-based improvements to 16 different sleep habits to improve your daytime energy. I've been using Rise myself on my phone. I started noticing higher quality sleep in a few nights, and it's allowed me to just better understand how my energy levels correspond with my sleep. And I've had a really great experience with it. My audience can try Rise for free for an entire week by going to risescience.com/Pakman. The link is right underneath this video.